It has come to this, my fellow viewers. Because of this one Patreon request, we had to partake on a long and arduous journey. A bizarre adventure, yes, but a lengthy process nonetheless. Patreon supporter Lee Goldberg has waited patiently for this one review, but in order for me to give it a fair analysis, I had to take my first steps into the bold and insane world of JoJo. From the dynamic beginnings of Phantom Blood, to the godlike flexes of Battle Tendency, and to the epic bro journey of Stardust Crusaders, we have made it. This one request pushed me to finally partake in this adventure, but I finally made it. And after witnessing so many glorious and buffed up moments from the first 3 arcs, what do we have in store for the 4th arc, Diamond is Unbreakable? Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with this one.
When I wake up in the morning and the alarm gets out of warning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I grab my books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus fly by. It's alright, cause I'm safe out of bail. If the teacher pops a test, I know I'm in a mess, and my dog ate all my homework last night. Riding low in my chair, she won't know that I'm there. If I can hand it in tomorrow, it'll be alright. It's alright, cause I'm safe out of bail.
I mean, come on, how am I wrong? Tell me, how am I wrong? An episodic sitcom, dripping in 90s flair, and starring a character obsessed with his hair. How am I wrong? Diamond is Unbreakable is set around 1999, which means I was 11 years old around this time, probably playing Mario 64 with my Furby next to me. 90s, baby! Jotaro Kujo is now a grown adult investigating weird phenomenons in a small Japanese town called Morio. But he also has to locate a certain person in this town. That would be our new protagonist and the 4th JoJo, Josuke Higashikata. And I was confused at first because I don't see another Joe in that name that would make him a JoJo, but apparently the spelling used for this part of his name can also be pronounced as Joe. Hence his nickname is JoJo. The more you know. Jotaro has to meet Josuke because he is apparently the illegitimate son of Joseph Joestar? Hold up! First of all, what do you mean he cheated on this bubbly goddess who was still a bombshell in her golden years? You mean to tell me during those 4 years trying to find Dio and before the events of Stardust Crusaders that he just randomly had a one-night stand with this lady and left? Secondly,
my only daughter has been married to a Japanese man for over 20 years. Fell in love on the other side of the world and never came home again. Her son rarely gets to see his own grandfather! That's why I'll never forgive the Japanese!
And yet, sometime before Stardust Crusaders, you decide to have a one-night stand with a woman in Japan. And the sad thing about all of this is it's never addressed again. Like, not even an explanation. All we know is that Josuke is Joseph's kid, it started a bit of drama in the family, Susie Q is not happy, and that's it. And all I could gather from my research was that Josuke's mother, Tomoko, was a college student. Great Kami Guru, give me strength for this one. And she had a fling with Joseph during the 4 years of Dio's awakening. For some reason. So I'm just left to assume that while Joseph was traveling the world, researching stands and meeting Avdol, he met Tomoko while studying in Japan, and, well, it happened. But hey, at least Joseph added Josuke to his will, so even though I'm still shocked over Joseph cheating on his wife, at least he's trying to support Josuke and acknowledge him as his son. And honestly, this scene where they meet for the very first time is just too precious for words. Oh, this is so adorable. So you know what? I'm just gonna let this moment slide, just like everyone else has. Wait, where was I with this review? The plot? Does this season even have one? Okay, backing up a bit, Jotaro tells Josuke about his dad while discovering that he has his own stand, Crazy Diamond, Shining Diamond, they're the same thing, which has the same speed and fighting capabilities as Jotaro's Star Platinum, but instead of freezing time, it has the ability to break and repair anything. So he can literally beat the crap out of you and heal you at the same time. That's honestly pretty sadistic. But Jotaro also mentions that Joseph's Hermit Purple picked up strange anomalies within the small town and just wanted to warn Josuke of what's to come. Turns out, though, that the main antagonist in this whole season is Stands. Just stands. Nothing but stands. Stands are everywhere. So, remember that bow and arrow that I mentioned in my last review? Well, apparently Enya entrusted the bow and arrow sets to a few denizens of Morio as they would await Enya and Dio's call to action. Yeah, apparently there was more than one set of these stand makers. So this season is basically treated like a sitcom in the likes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Charmed, Supernatural, the intro to this video, etc, etc, where there really isn't a definitive villain like in the first 3 arcs. Like that phenomenon that Jotaro mentions in the first episode easily gets addressed in the next episode, only for our characters to be sent on an over-glorified cleanup mission to track down any stand users posing a threat to society, while also tracking down the holders of the bow and arrow sets to stop any more stand users from being made. Josuke is joined by other stand users who are willing to help our JoJos with this difficult mission. There's Koichi Hirose, who wields the stand called Echoes, and it has the power to create numerous sounds and actions through the words it writes on a person or an object. Then there's Okoyasu Nijimura, who holds the stand called The Hand, which has the ability to fight extremely well and erase all forms of matter in space when it swipes its right hand. And then we have Rohan Kishibe with his stand Heaven's Door, which allows him to be creepy as fuck. It allows him to read his opponents. Quite literally, while either writing in a command for them to obey or erasing their memories. This is my new nightmare fuel. This is honestly Diamond is Unbreakable in a nutshell, just Josuke and his friends meeting different stand users throughout their town, assessing whether they're good or evil, taking care of whatever problem they bring, and trying to stop more stand users from being made. At the same time, if there really is one definitive villain for this season, it would go to the stand user who posed the biggest challenge, and that was Yoshikage Kira. Basically, when Koichi and Rohan meet a spirit that was wrongfully murdered, she tells them that the killer is still on the loose, which leads their investigation to Kira. This is by far their biggest case and the one the series has to finish on, but it's just another case for our heroes to face. And as I keep stating over and over again, this season is just Josuke and friends assessing one stand user after another. I mean, you have threatening cases like Aqua Necklace, Atom Heart Father, Enigma, and Red Hot Chili Peppers. Oh my god, these names. But then we have the least threatening ones like Cinderella, Harvest, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Pearl Jam. All these music references will never end. Hell, do you want to know what Kira's stand is called? Do ya? Do you really want to know? Seriously, do you want to know what his stand is called? It's called Killer Queen. This season has a freaking Freddie Mercury reference, and I was waiting for this moment. Oh, I love Queen! Honestly, with how so many characters have their own stands, like seriously, there are way too many characters in this show that have their own stands. I'm just waiting for Oprah, another 90s reference, to jump up and scream, and you get a stand, and you get a stand, you all get a stand! Wait, the cat has a stand? This cat has a stand. It's a cat plant. What even is this season? And before we move forward, let's quickly address this awkward mess. Yukako Yamagishi has the stand Love Deluxe, which allows her to use her hair as a weapon. Yeah, I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. Of course, she's a yandere, kidnapping her senpai so they can live happily ever after, only for Koichi to fight back and eventually win his freedom. I mean, he saves her from falling to her death, but there's no indication that Koichi would still hold any feelings towards her after everything she put him through. I'm only bringing this up because she comes back later in the Cinderella episode and Koichi falls in love with her? Like, after everything she did to him. And I mean everything she did to him, he still thinks it's cool to date her? Did I miss something in between these episodes? Not to mention a lot of people nominated this couple for top 10 worst couples in anime, and I can understand why. If there is one other thing I could address with this season, it's... well, look at it. Do you see anything different with this season? Like, look at this. Here's Phantom Blood. Here is Battle Tendency, here is Stardust Crusaders, and here is Diamond is Unbreakable. Notice how this arc looks completely different with its character design and color scheme. There are no Adonis sculpted men flexing for the cameras, but rather more flamboyant designs in regards to wardrobe and style. Not to mention the colors used in any scene are a drastic change from previous seasons. Here we have yellow skies, flashy colors on their wardrobes, Joseph, what are you wearing? And sudden changes in color depending on the mood of the scene. I reached out on Twitter trying to figure out why there was a sudden change in style and presentation, but from what I could gather, this was simply Araki-senpai's transition into his own style. Basically, the first few arcs were heavily inspired by Fist of the North Star. Could have fooled me. But the more he drew his series, the more he experimented with his own style. So we transitioned from muscular bros flexing their stuff to a more glam rock vision full of flamboyant flair and style. But everyone on this show can still kick your ass. Or as Nuxtaku puts it, I detect no lies here. If this is his true style that he will continue to use throughout the rest of JoJo, I say it's pretty awesome. He's experimenting with his creations while still giving us memorable styles that are still being praised and memed to this day. So yeah, it's an interesting change that I honestly like. And finally, let's talk about our JoJo this time. Here we have Josuke, and he's alright. He's just a nice kid who gets easily mad when you talk badly about his hair or if you mess with his loved ones. That's it. I don't know, there was just something about the other three that made them stand out more. Jonathan was an over-the-top gentleman. Joseph was a snarky smartass with a lot of comedic moments. Jotaro is a brute force and has the appearance that screams, "I can hurt you," without even trying. Josuke is just a nice kid who will at times cause a bit of mischief, but he's got a heart of gold. Wait, now that I think about it, he's like the biggest 90s trope. What is this? For this season, his personality matches the era and tone. Comparing him to the other JoJos, however, I don't know. I honestly consider him to be one of the weakest. Still a great character, but he just doesn't stand out compared to the other JoJos. Overall, Diamond is Unbreakable is a definite JoJo whiplash. Instead of what we're used to seeing in the past 3 arcs, we're given a basic sitcom plot with a different art style. Presentation-wise, I love the new look, and I really like some of these characters. Story-wise, however, I found myself trying not to fast forward through some of those episodes. Unless they were heavily involved with some character growth or related to the series' conclusion, I would watch the beginning, figure out the problem, and skip ahead to see how the problem was solved. There really wasn't anything gripping me to pay attention to certain episodes, especially with all that heavy dialogue. They talk forever. That is, unless it involved Kira. That climax towards the end with Killer Queen's newest ability grabbed my attention, and I honestly felt terrified for our characters having to deal with this smug bastard. But, I don't know, Okoyasu and Josuke finding a stand user that can collect discarded coins throughout the city, Yukiko having beauty issues, and that's when she meets the Cinderella stand user, Jotaro and Josuke finding a rat. Okay, that one at least had some development with our two JoJos relying on each other, but that's it. Hell, even Joseph finding an invisible baby seemed boring at first, but any scene with this senile goof is just gold to me. Some episodes are a hit or a miss, but I wouldn't say it was entirely bad. Some tend to pick Battle Tendency as the weakest arc, while others would pick this one. But even I'm not so sure where I stand on this one. I'm not even sure if that was a pun or not. Regardless, Diamond is Unbreakable is an entity all on its own, but still a cute season to watch. You can watch all of JoJo on Crunchyroll and Anime Lab in subbed only. I did watch this in English, and it's still a pretty damn good performance, especially with DC Douglas voicing Kira.
Let's head inside. A sublime weekend is beyond those doors. It'll be our getaway.
He just gave off a suave yet still unsettling performance. And of course, we have the shield hero himself, Billy Comet, as JoJo.
Talk about my hair and you'll see a different side of me. A side that'll make you feel pain like never before. So what was that about my hair looking like a motley toupee?
A natural fit for this character, and I just loved his performance. Dubbed or subbed, you're in for a random time with this season, and that's all I can basically say. Its highs are phenomenal, and its lows are boring at worst. It's definitely a change in tone and presentation, but this is still one bizarre adventure you should check out. Now this season was my Patreon request. not the entirety of JoJo. Just Diamond is Unbreakable, which would mean my next Patreon request review is... Oh! We're actually going old school with the irresponsible Captain Tyler. But a lot of you really want me to review Golden Wind as well, so I'll try to prioritize both videos for all of you to enjoy. So, what does Golden Wind have in store?
I'll say it again. I strongly suggest you abandon following me. I despise saying something a second time when once is sufficient. Repetition is the very essence of futility.
Hold up. This is our next JoJo? Oh, please don't tell me Joseph cheated with another girl. I can only take so much heartbreak. Oh, this isn't his kid? Oh, it's Dio's kid. Okay, I can see it. Wait, what do you mean this is Dio's kid?
It's just a baby. I'm holding a tiny naked baby in my hands. FBI, open up!
All right! This white devil thing has gone far enough. Nobody messes with the dude!
This plot makes no sense, Roger.
What do you expect, Eddie? It's just a cartoon.
Be careful! I sense death! Excuse me?
Kitty, you're going in the bucket. You have no saying, Kitty! You're going in the bucket!
Saw you hanging out with Caitlin yesterday!
Rebecca, it's not what you did.
I won't hesitate, bitch!
Does immaturely insulting me make you feel better about your sad, single life?
It actually does.
Persona!
Ow! Oh, my perfectly sculpted ass!
Is that Master Nike? I bet he's fine. Yeah, he's good.
Tick, 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 tick. We are at Code Red. Recon Plan Charlie. Execute. Let's move.
What is wrong with you, Carl?
Well, I kill people and I eat hands. That's two things.
Meow 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 meow.
Floof the hair! For power!
I'm sorry now I killed you, for our love was something fine. Until they come to get me, I shall hold your hand in mine.
Funny how this arc didn't really give me a writer's block, unlike the last arc. Like, Stardust Crusaders had so much going on that I had to make sure I didn't miss anything important. Here, it's like I knew what to say, but didn't know if the video would be short or not, considering how there isn't that much else to address with this season. The sitcom plot, the color scheme, some of the characters, and that's basically it. So if you have watched up to Diamond is Unbreakable or have seen all of JoJo so far, what are your thoughts on this particular season? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I want to give a huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters and want to apologize for these requests taking so long. I'm down to my last 10 requests and will do my best to review them as soon as I can. But I am truly grateful for all of your love and support. Thank you all so much for supporting this channel and watching our videos. Be sure to leave a like on this video and click on the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of our reviews and such. More awesome videos will be on the way, so stay tuned to Anime America.